Destroy our enemies.
Hello YouTube, this is CoD4-Black Ops Pro, and the topic of today's commentary is how to fix Call of Duty, how to make it better, because as you guys know, Call of Duty's been going downhill for the past few years. The sales are in decline, and if you guys want proof of that, for the past two Call of Duty games, Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the sales figures were not released by Activision, which can only mean that Activision doesn't want to worry their investors. Not only that, but the player count was removed from the playlist of Advanced Warfare, which means Activision doesn't want to embarrass themselves because how few people are playing the game after only about 3 weeks of this game being out. And in addition to that, you can also tell that Call of Duty is going downhill because my brother, CoD4-Black Ops Pro 2, was playing Capture the Flag, and he keeps getting in the same match over and over again. And that is a problem that plagues usually older Call of Duties that have been out for several years now, but you wouldn't expect this to happen to a game that's only been out for 3 weeks. Not even that. So, as you know, Call of Duty's been going downhill, so Modern Warfare 3 is really where it started because Call of Duty peaked in Black Ops 1, and that's what I'm going to be kind of focusing in today's commentary about why it peaked in Black Ops 1 and how the developers can go back to that. So Modern Warfare 3 people had high expectations for that game because people liked MW2, but unfortunately Modern Warfare 3 was rushed. It didn't bring anything new in multiplayer that was positive. What it did bring was more death streaks, and things like that, more death streaks, and just a bunch of other problems with that game. And the maps weren't very good either. So that game was one of the worst Call of Duties ever made, in my opinion. And it's still, do I still consider it the worst? No, but I'll get into that later. So then the year after that, we have Black Ops 2. Now Black Ops 2 wasn't a particularly bad game, but it wasn't a great game either. It had problems. It had its fair share of problems. And guys, one of the reasons why I can't be on a riot shield in that game is because the way people play in that game forces me to do that. People quickscope, people use shotguns, people use all this other crap that they don't use in Black Ops 1, fortunately. So I have to counter that, and that's how I counter it. I use a shield and an LMG, so yeah, that game's not great, but it's definitely not the worst. So then the year after that we have Ghosts, and Ghosts is regarded by many people to be the worst Call of Duty ever made, and I can understand why they would think that. I personally, I don't think that. Personally, I think that Ghost is a decent Call of Duty. It's not great, but it's decent. I mean, it plays better in certain ways than Black Ops 2 does. People aren't running around shotguns as much. People don't run around quickscoping. I mean, those are all positives from that game, but one of the biggest negatives would probably be how slow the game plays. And that's unfortunate because I mean, Ghost would be a solid game if the game played a little bit faster, if the lag comp didn't cause you to get melted or anything. So the sales went down there, and that kind of led in part to the decline in pre-orders of Advanced Warfare. Now, Advanced Warfare, guys, is not a great game. Honestly, it's probably the worst Call of Duty to date. And the reason I say that is, for number one, it's not Call of Duty. It's closer to Titanfall and Halo than it is to Call of Duty. And there's two. It's just not fun to play, really. I don't find any enjoyment in it. A lot of other people would agree with me too. That game, it's just not fun. I mean, and Activision and the developers are driving the series into the ground. But it's not always the developers' fault because Activision pressures them with tight deadlines and their corporate greed and stuff. So it's not entirely the developers' fault. We can't place the blame squarely on them. We have to also look to Activision, because Activision is the publisher. Activision is the parent company for the developers. So we have to look at them and place the blame on them, because it's not fair to put it on the developers. But anyway, guys, I do think that Black Ops 1 is the best game, but there's other good games in the Call of Duty series too. We can learn a lot from, for like CoD4. CoD4 is a great game. World at War is another great game, and Modern Warfare 2 is good, but it had a lot of problems. But it was still a lot of fun to play, so it was a great game too. So basically, from CoD4 to Black Ops 1, every game was good. There was a few problems here and there, but they weren't necessarily game breaking. They didn't make the game unfun to play. and they're all largely were for successful. That all of them were. And well, I believe that the series peaked at Black Ops 1 because after that, the series never really fully returned to its basics. It's what Call of Duty needs to return to. It needs to go back to the casual gamer. And guys, let me go into Black Ops 1, why this game was such a good game. At least for multiplayer, guys. And so let's get into it now. So those three main game things. So those campaign, of course, and the campaign. I mean, I don't regard it as the best campaign ever in Call of Duty, but it definitely wasn't bad. And if you're into a campaign, it's definitely worth giving it a try. But the campaign's not. I mean, a lot of people don't buy the game for the campaign, so I'm probably not gonna elaborate too much on it. I mean, I liked it, but it's just, campaign's just not for me. So I don't play a campaign very often. I play it once, maybe once, beat it, and then that's it. So let's get into the zombies, because I will get into multiplayer later, but I'm gonna go into that much more elaborate. That's gonna be the main focus of this commentary, is the multiplayer, because the multiplayer has been going downhill. It's been in decline, and it's been driven into the ground by Activision. And that's unfortunate. But the zombies. Now the zombies is a great co-op. It's a great third game mode co-op thing, and unfortunately, the other developers haven't had very much success in imitating the success that the zombies has. Because zombies offer something that multiplayer and campaign don't. It offers this wave-based survival, but they just add little fun elements to it. What Modern Warfare 3 did was that they had a survival, but they lacked all the fun elements that zombies has. Like zombies has a mystery box, it has perk occult machines, to be just more specific. It has different types of bosses, like different zombies. You can buy stuff off wall. You can progress through the maps. The maps were not multiplayer maps, especially. Guys, imagine if zombies was just put on multiplayer maps. I mean, in Black Ops 1 that might not be so bad, since this game didn't really have any bad maps in my opinion. But in other maps, like in other games, like let's say if zombies was put on Black Ops 2 maps, that would be a terrible idea. Those maps sucked for the most part, except ones like Nuketown and Studio. I mean, those ones are good for obvious reasons. But that's probably what added to the longevity of zombies. And the other developers like Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, they try to create their own third game mode, cooperative. Like, for example, in Ghost, there was Extinction, but Extinction never caught on because many people in the community, they like training zombies around. They like shooting them. They don't want aliens jumping off of rooftops and spraying them with acid every 5 seconds. They don't want that. And that just got annoying, and plus, they didn't add all the fun things that zombies did. Like, they didn't add the perks or the pack-a-punch or anything like that. It was just basically, you choose your loadout, and then that's what you get, and then, yeah, I mean, okay, at least since Extinction didn't just recycle the old multiplayer maps and have you play on that. But Sledgehammer did a terrible job in theirs, because their co-op is worse than Modern Warfare 3 co-op, and I actually enjoyed Modern Warfare 3 co-op a little bit. I mean, it wasn't great. I didn't spend a whole ton of time on there, but it wasn't bad either. It wasn't like awful. But I can't say the same about Advanced Warfare. They did something wrong there. Not only did they just copy and paste multiplayer maps into their survival, but there's really no point in playing that anyway. I don't see any point in playing Advanced Warfare Survival. It's just not fun. I mean, yeah, it's really annoying to have your enemies jump around in exosuits too, so that might be part of it, but I don't know, there's just a limited weapon variety in that, because you choose your class, and then you're stuck with those types of weapons. Like, if you choose heavy weapons, you're stuck with heavy weapons. It's just annoying. So I only played one game of that, and then I just stopped playing that. But let's get into the multiplayer, because I'm sure many of you guys out there buy the game specifically for the multiplayer. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, of course, whenever a Treyarch game comes out, I do buy it for the zombies too. I like zombies. And Guys, when Treyarch releases their game in 2015, which they probably will, I don't see why they wouldn't release a game in 2015. I mean, it'll probably be better than the past few titles we've gotten so far, because Treyarch always seems to do things right, but there's also a few things that concern me and how they could do things wrong, because I think Vonderhaar was tweeting the other day how they were working on Domination and the 2-round thing, how they're trying to experiment with taking the time limit off of the 2 rounds because they want people to have a chance to make a comeback if they get dominated the first round. And guys, that's a big mistake. I don't know of anyone who actually likes the split in 2 rounds. I don't know who actually likes that. I mean, Ghost did something right by putting it back into 1 round. No one likes Domination split in 2 rounds. It doesn't work. Okay, stop putting MLG stuff in public matches. Just stop. I mean, we don't need competitive rule sets in public matches. That's what League plays for, Vonderhaar. That's what League plays for. I don't want competitive this, competitive that, League play, MLG this, MLG that. Don't cater to the snipers either, because Black Ops 1 did it right, the sniping right. They nerfed the snipers so that when you aimed in, the first few seconds, your scope would experience a large amount of idle sway. Not only that, but there was no stopping power. There was no way to increase your damage that your sniper rifle did. So therefore, it just kept it balanced. It wasn't overpowered in the slightest. Sniping was perfect in Black Ops 1, but unfortunately, Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, it went back to the old type of sniping. And not only that, the damage was buffed to 98 compared to 70, while the damage of other weapons classes was decreased. So snipers became more overpowered. But guys, I'm not gonna get too much into the snipers. I mean, the point is they should really think about sniper balance for long and hard, and not cater to MLG and OpTiC and FaZe and interest stuff like that, because that never helps Call of Duty. So let's get into what Black Ops did right. So what I'm gonna say for one thing is the creator class. They did the creator class right. Now, not only there was a currency system that would allow you to buy whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted, so you wouldn't have to wait until the end, like the end of the prestige, to get that one perk you wanted, or you actually still had to wait for guns and stuff. But equipment and perks you could buy right off the bat, and that's what I liked. But the weapons you did have to wait. So, for example, if something was locked at level like 40, you'd have to wait till level 40 to unlock it. You couldn't just buy it early. I mean, that was fine. I mean, but also, the CoD points added a new element to multiplayer that was not seen before, like wager matches. Those are fun. I mean, I don't play those a lot. I mean, there isn't too many people in those, but it added a new element. I like that. And let's go into the creator class itself, because creator class 2.0, in my opinion, is the best creator class that there's ever been in Call of Duty history. Better than the Pick 10 system, because the Pick 10 system was full of flaws, and it really wasn't anything new. Technically, it was just a regular creator class system, but with wildcards that let you do different stuff. But you would have to pay for those said wildcards. And given that the whole point of the Pick 10 system was to make your creator class choices more free, I don't even get why wildcards need exist. Because shouldn't they be free already? Shouldn't wildcards not have to exist, so you can have 2 perks without paying an extra for an extra wildcard? You know, I'm not sure, but in my opinion, Pick 10 was a fail, and a lot of people don't know that. But so in creator class 2.0, you had pro perks. You had 3 tiers of perks. You didn't have all the 35 perks scattered over 7 categories like in Ghost. You had pro perks, not unlike Black Ops 2. And that's what this game needs. Also, guys, there was no focus perk. The focus was toughness was actually a pro perk of Harden, but no one ever used Harden because Harden had very little use. Wasn't very useful. So people didn't use it very often. And many people stuck to sleight of hand pro, Warlord, perks like that. And I like how in this game perks were perks. They weren't turned into attachments like they were in Black Ops 2. Now it's also getting more other stuff in multiplayer because the perks were good. I mean, Ghost actually worked the way it should. You shouldn't have to be moving 24/7 to just to hide from a UAV because, you know, I think what developers learned from Black Ops 2 is when you take away the Ghost perk, the UAV becomes ridiculously overpowered. There's nothing really to counter it at that point. And guys, another perk in this game I feel is pretty good, but it's not overpowered. Is Second Chance. Second Chance allows you to get back up if you get down, but half the time it doesn't work because people with automatic weapons can keep spraying at you until they see points on their screen. So guys, Second Chance is not overpowered. A lot of times it's just someone just giving up a third perk just to try to get that advantage, but oftentimes that advantage doesn't even work for them. So that's not overpowered. So yeah, I don't see why they feel the need to split the perks these days because they work fine in this game. Now, guys, let's get into the kill streaks next because the kill streaks they didn't cost too much. They cost just the right amount of kills. And guys, notice how I said kill streaks, not score streaks. I don't like how they try to force you to play the objective by making the kill streaks so hard to get that the only way you're reasonably gonna get them within a certain amount of kills if you cap a certain amount of flags or do that, and I don't like that. I don't like how Black Ops 2 made the kill streak so hard to get in many circumstances. I don't like how Advanced Warfare they made them so hard to get while at the same time nerfing them. Black Ops 1 had the right amount of variation between the kill streaks. I mean, sure, there's a few high ones like the gunship, the dogs, the Blackbird, the chopper gunner. Those are the high ones up, and those lower ones like the UAV or the spy plane, the counter spy plane. The care package. All the kill streaks served a purpose, and none of them were bad. They're all useful to some degree. And that's what I like about this game. I mean, all the kill streaks are fun to use. There really weren't any problems with that. So, I mean, hopefully they go back to the kill streak system. They bring back some of the streaks like this. They don't nerf the chopper gunner streaks, sort of streaks that they keep them in the air for at least 50-something seconds. They're powerful. It just streaks us like that. And let's get into the maps, because the maps in this game were good. It had two of the best maps in Call of Duty history, in my opinion, the Nuketown and Firing Range. I mean, sure, a lot of people like Summit, but I just don't enjoy Summit too much because Summit promotes rushing. Summit's one of the only maps in this game that really lacks that true element of verticality, but I still don't think it's a bad map. I can still play it. So basically, I like pretty much every single map in this game. Sure, there's some top tier maps like the two ones I just mentioned, the Nuketown and Firing Range, but the worst, it doesn't get really that bad. The map selection doesn't get bad at all, really, and that's what I feel also adds to this game, because you're not gonna get bored if you like all the maps. You're unlikely to get bored. You're not just gonna give up on the game, and that's what I like about Call of Duty. Because some of the past few Call of Duties, like Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, Ghosts, and even Advanced Warfare, they all had maps that weren't fun to play on, and I don't like playing games like that. I mean, half the maps are bad, then half the game is bad, and that's just not fun. I don't like playing like that. Because prior to that, like from COD 4 to Black Ops 1, there weren't very many bad maps, really, and that's what I liked about Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty's kind of lost its way with the maps. They're trying to cater to MLG and rushers too much, way too much, in fact. Because what they do is they try to take out the element of verticality, and verticality is key to any Call of Duty game. It's key. I mean, you take it out, and then it's basically just you on the ground the whole time. There's no advantage at all. In Black Ops 2, a lot of the maps were bad just because they took the verticality out from. I mean, I don't like that. I didn't like how Modern Warfare 3, all the maps were flat. There was very few second story buildings in that game, and that's one of the reasons that made the game bad. Because if you have bad maps in a game, that game's bad overall. It's not good. So maps definitely need special attention because they can make or break a game. Now, Let's also go. Let's get into more critic class because I just remember something. Black Ops 1 was the first game that took out stopping power, and stopping power was a game-breaking perk. It made the time to kill way too fast. So that was another good thing. I mean, there shouldn't be perks that help noobs get kills. I mean, the game shouldn't cater to noobs, and there should be no free kill no free kill streaks. Like the 100 killer drone is a perfect example of this. You just throw it in the air and it finds an enemy for you and gives you a kill. You don't have to do anything. It just does it for you, and that's not really fair for the guy getting killed. Now let's also see about no, the gun balance in Black Ops 1 was great. It's the best gun balance there's ever been. It works. It's very similar to Modern Warfare 2, even though people say the guns in Modern Warfare 2 were overpowered, and they were not, because they were balanced almost and coded almost exactly the same way as the Black Ops 1 weapons were. And the thing about Black Ops 1 weapons is that let's go to the assault rifle. So the assault rifles, they have the mobility, 95% mobility, so you'd run at the 95% of base speed. That's good, because in games like Ghosts and Advanced Warfare, you only run at 90%, and the slower you make a weapon's mobility, the more campy people who use that weapon are going to behave. And as we all know from Call of Duty Ghosts, like we all know that doesn't work, because when you make someone's weapon like really bad for rushing, people are just gonna sit at the back of the map with it. That's what people do with LMGs. That people do with snipers sometimes. So why do that with an assault rifle? Next, the assault rifles kill in 3 to 4 hits anywhere on the map in this game. I can't think of a single assault rifle that needs more than 4 shots to kill at any range. I mean, sure, the M14 and the FN FAL, they can do 3-hit kills at even the longest ranges, but those are semi-automatics. They're not the traditional fully automatic assault rifle. And that's what Nicole needs to go back to. They need to add some kick to those assault rifles, because Advanced Warfare, they're all laser beams, literally. Some of them literally are laser beams. They need to add a kick to it. They need to add damage. We can't just have these easy to use, low damage guns, because they just don't work that well. Next, the submachine guns in this game, they're all most of them are 3 to 5 hits. I mean, the Scorpion kills in 2 at close range, but it's balanced by its low range. So we know that the assault rifles are good at long range, or medium to long range. The SMGs are good at close range. That's how it should be. This game was assault rifle dominated. I mean, in many circumstances, there's not very much, it's not very practical to use a submachine gun over an assault rifle, but who cares? Like, I mean, if some people who want to rush really aggressively, they can use a submachine gun if they wanted to. They get 5% speed boost, really, because you get 100% of the base speed compared to 95% of assault rifles, and they can aim to ADS in 0.2 and 200 milliseconds compared to the 250 milliseconds of assault rifles, which was another thing that they did right, because in games like Ghost, assault rifles take 300 milliseconds, and that just increases the need for quick draw. It forces you to run that perk if you want to rush. But oftentimes people chose not to run that perk, so guess what? They were forced to camp because they couldn't compete with any other weapon class at any range, and that's just unfortunate. Now there are some other weapon classes too, like the LMGs. The LMGs in this game were balanced. I mean, they weren't often used because this game didn't cater to the LMG playstyle. And the LMGs had quite a bit of kick to them, and only one of them had the grip attachment available, which is the M60. But the M60 killed in 2 to 3 hits, and the old other ones had killed in 3 hits, but they didn't have any damage drop off, which is a major difference from LMGs of today, because LMGs of today have damage drop offs. They kill in like 5 hits at range. They have 0 to no recoil. It's just messed up. The LMGs, like the assault rifles, should have quite a bit of kick to them, but in turn they should be powerful. That's how assault rifles should be. They should be made for. They shouldn't be a hit marker machine. They should be made for covering fire, essentially. So that's what they should be. And then the sniper rifles, again, they did the sniping right in this game. People's go-to weapons shouldn't be sniper rifles. In Black Ops 2 they were, Black Ops 2 free for all you saw people running around with were sniper rifles, and you get quickscoped. If a sniper even looked at you, you would just be quickscoped. There's nothing you can do. In this game, people use snipers how they should be. That they sit at the back of the map and they hardscope. And I'd much rather that rather than someone running around like it's a shotgun. Hey guys, let's get into shotguns now. Now, shotguns in this game were by no means overpowered. In fact, in many ways, they were underpowered. But it's better to have something that's underpowered rather than something that's game-breakingly overpowered, like they were in Black Ops 2. Because in Black Ops 2, if you're running around with a Remington, if you miss your first shot, that's okay. You can just have a second shot, and because the time to kill in that game for weapons like assault rifles at close range was pretty slow. So the shotgunner can usually get a second shot on you, and if you miss the first shot, which he usually doesn't, because it only takes like 2 out of 8 pellets to hit you, and the hip fire is pretty good. So overall, shotguns in that game were overpowered. They really needed to be nerfed. They never really got nerfed. So in this game, at least they did shotguns right. So we covered the gun balance, we covered the creator class, we covered the maps. We covered the kill streaks even. Are you starting to see why Black Ops 1 is one of the best Call of Duties ever made? No. Let's also get into the theme, because the theme's pretty important. Now, this theme takes place in it's more realistic. It takes place in the Vietnam and Cold War eras. And those were some pretty interesting eras. Then it's not like Advanced Warfare, which takes place in some completely implausible futuristic setting. It's not like that. Because you can't even relate to that, so it doesn't even make sense. Because in 40 years, we will not have jetpacks. We will not be running around with cloak on. We will not be doing any of that. But Black Ops has a setting that seems, more realistic. So more people can relate to it. So that's probably one of the reasons why this game. It seems more timeless too. This game did a lot of things right. It's kind of sad to see this game go towards the end of its life cycle, because the game's over 4 years old at this point. A lot of people like it still. A lot of people still play this game, and that kind of proves to you that this game did a lot of things right. Because had it not done anything right, the game would not be as popular as it is today. I mean, usually around 30,000 people can be on it. Like, that's the peak amount of people these days. And Ghost is around the same amount of people. Ghost on Xbox 360 around 30,000. So there isn't a huge difference there. Given that this game's 3 years older, that's a huge difference. And that just tells you Black Ops 1 definitely better than COD Ghost. A lot of people think so. And guys, the amount of people still playing the game after a certain amount of time, like for example a year, a month, a few weeks, is a much better indicator about how well that game did, what the fans thought of it, rather than sales. Because a lot of people buy Call of Duty. When they buy Call of Duty, they buy it blindly. And guys, people just buy it after they see maybe 1 or 2 trailers, and they buy the Call of Duty game just because they think, oh, this game looks so awesome. But they buy it blindly, guys. And guys, those trailers are designed to sell you the game. And guys, all it seems like Activision cares about anymore is selling you the game. That's honestly all it feels like sometimes. So that's kind of why they've been putting out maybe these half-assed games the past few years. And hopefully in 2015, Treyarch goes back to the basics. They look at Black Ops 1, they see everything it did right. They see it didn't cater to the MLG or other special interests. They see that it was friendly to the casual gamer. That the streaks were just right. They don't need to be buffed or nerfed or anything. That the perk system was great. Ghost doesn't need to be buffed or nerfed or anything. I mean, sure, Ghost. I mean, a lot of people thought it was OP. It wasn't OP. It just had a lot of utilities going for it. But that doesn't make it overpowered. Flak Jacket was a pretty good perk. It wasn't. Was it overpowered? No. Was Black Ops 2's Flak Jacket underpowered? Yes. So, I mean, this game did a lot of things right. I mean, people complained probably during this game's heyday.
They destroyed your equipment.
As you saw that my motion sensor just got destroyed there. Guys, motion sensors were good. I mean, I wish they'd bring something like that back, because I mean, I know camping is frowned upon usually, but if they're gonna give rushers their tools like lightweight And other things, why can't they give campers our tools like motion sensors? Those were good. Those helped defend. It helped us defend a certain area of the map, and guys, it was better than leaving like a bunch of random IEDs and things like that. 'Cause, I mean, if you don't want campers to use annoying stuff like IEDs, just give them motion sensors. I mean, I think it'd be work out pretty well. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the commentary. Don't forget to like, and subscribe, and listen to World of War. And thanks for watching. Also, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section about what Treyarch can do in the next Call of Duty to kind of save the franchise. You know, make it another great Call of Duty game. So, anyways, thanks for watching.